What's going on YouTube? My name is Chris. You're watching APK Collectibles. We are an online TCG store. We're located in Central New Jersey. Our website is live now. You can buy my collection at apkcollectibles.com. It is moving fast. I am priced to sell. If you're a vendor or collector, an investor, go check it out. You can email me if you're looking for anything. I probably have about 20 to 30% more of the collection to sell off, and then we're going to stop. That is the who, when, and where. We'll get into the what. We are a business, guys. APK Collectibles is a business. We are not going to be a flipping business. We're not going to be $1 million Pokemon card business. We're going to continue to do the things that I have done over the last 9 years. We're just going to have a website. We're going to educate people. And selling the collection is going to give me the chance to do a lot of the things I never was able to do. I did not think I would ever be able to do this. The only reason I can do this is because how fast and how the rate of change in the market has increased over the past, 6 to 12 months. The gamma, as you would call it, or the beta of how fast things move in the marketplace. That is really the only reason I'm able to do this. And now I have the ability to do the things I want. If I want to buy a card, 10 times and grade it, I have more leeway to do that because the hobby is paying for itself and the rate of change has gone up so fast. So we're not going to be $1 million Pokemon card business. It's just going to be a business. A business doesn't have to be revenue generating, but we're going to have the ability to do the things that we want to do, and that's great. The how did we get here? Well, we got here by being the most boring person in the world. I collect Pokemon cards and collectibles pretty much on my own. It's my escape. I don't really have a community of friends to do it with. I have a family and a full-time job, and this is what I do as an escape. I don't spend money stupidly. I have respect for money. I invest my money. And Pokemon cards and collectibles have been a portion of that diversification for the past 9 years. I started with Pokemon in 2016 when Pokemon Go came out, and a man walked off a cliff in California. And then I started looking into it. I started talking to some people at the shows. 1 to 2 years of learning and understanding how the card market worked, what TCGs were about. That's where I started with Magic and Pokemon. Nobody knows who I am in the hobby. Nobody knows what I've been doing. There's a lot of people out there like me that do things like this. And the why is probably the most important part. Um, I never thought I'd be able to do this. I literally would never take the risk of quitting my job, with a mortgage and kids to do something like this and start a business. It wasn't in the things I thought I can do. But because of the value of the collection, it's giving me the opportunity to do that. And I think there's a lot of people in my boat like that. I also think there's a lot of people who think it's easy money, but you're going to have to hold yourselves accountable and make your own decisions in the marketplace. The second reason is just the value of the collection. It needs to be diversified out. Uh, I would say I'm a risk averse person for the most part. I do understand irrational marketplaces and the money that can be made in them. But the beta of the collection now is overwhelming. And I would say for a middle class person like me, for some people could be life changing. So we're going to do some things with the money. I'm going to start a Roth IRA for my kids. I'm going to start universal whole life policies for my kids. That is the goal of why we're doing this, because it needs to be done. It just has to be trimmed down to a point because of my situation. My situation is different than your situation. Everybody's situation is different, which I don't think a lot of people understand. Watching YouTube, people who have cases and cases of Pokemon cards behind them, or stacks and stacks, it's just you can't look at everyone's situation the same. I got here by buying 1 to 3 booster boxes per month when I could afford it, not going into credit card debt, not spending when I didn't have to, not borrowing money, not leveraging money, and being the most boring person in the world, which my friends will tell you is the absolute case. I did not think it would be prudent to come on the internet, on YouTube, when everybody told me I should do it, and tell people to buy 2 booster boxes a month of Pokemon cards and put them in the closet. I would have came online and said, "Hey, I bought my 2 boxes. See you in 10 years." And that's not creative. That's not fun to watch. And thinking back now, they were absolutely right. I should have been doing it. So we're doing it now. I feel that I have some education I can provide. We do not punch up, we do not punch down on this channel. I'm going to stay in my lane here. I probably won't deal with many people in the community anyway. Um, I'm not going to let this get in the way of my job or my family. But I feel I can provide a service, and that service is to sell a little bit, to be able to fund the hobby the way I want to fund it, to be able to grow the hobby the way I want to grow it. Because the hobby and the money in the hobby is separate completely from my life, right? It doesn't, if all the cards disappeared tomorrow, my family and my bills would still be paid because I keep it all separate as a separate entity. And that gives me the leeway and the freedom to do a lot of things. And I just think that it's time to take some off the table. Um, Bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. And to me, this is getting a little bit long in the tooth. Everything is going up. Even the stupidest cards are going up. We'll make some videos on the dumbest cards in the world that are going up for no reason. And that's pretty much it. And I just want to, kind of get into one more thing, which is, where I think the Pokemon market is going with entry to the open marketplace. Like, so someone like me who started an online store and has money now to buy the dip when it occurs because all the Pokemon stores are making so much money right now. The people who took the risk in 2021 or 2016 or have distribution, kudos to you guys. Like, you guys took the risk of doing something you love. It's not something I would have ever done at that point. I would want, you know, 50 to 60,000 to start a business to do that because I would need to take the risk on and be able to do it the way I wanted to do it. So the fact that you guys did it and now market price of boxes is $250 a box, the companies are making 4 to 5 times more what they were going to make. And I don't have a problem with what they're selling at if that's what's in the market, because if I get a box for 160, there's probably a chance I sell it for 250 right off the bat. And I think they know that, and they should be, they've earned the right to sell it for what they want to sell it at. And you have earned the right to choose to buy it or not buy it. The Pokemon community has given away the golden goose. People don't care. A lot of the YouTubers have come online and said every box goes up. They don't care if it's 300 now, so they're just buying it, and that's what's going on. And the people who are like me, who are using the hobby to pay for the hobby, we have the funds to do it. I have the funds to buy a case, and it can be 1 to 2% of my investment portfolio for the business to buy the next couple of cases that come out now, because the value of my collection has grown over 9, 10 years. But what's going to happen when the market drops? If you watch Rudy and you watch Alpha Investments, which I started watching last year. I never watched him before that. I didn't even know who a lot of these people were. So I'm very detached from social media and YouTube. And, I've watched his videos where he says that he buys out distribution because they come to him. Well, think about all the companies online and all the companies that are making all this money in the Pokemon field. When distribution gets backed up, they're going to go to those people first. So the open marketplace for people to get distribution is probably going to be almost zero. You got to have a store, or you got to do certain thing this way. You got to have followers, or you got to know somebody. And I would never open up a brick and mortar store without distribution. It's just stupid. But when and if it crashes, those guys are going to come in with all the money they're making now and buy everything back up. So, I just want to be able to be a little part of that. If prices get down under MSRP, I'm going to be able to buy, I don't know, 6 cases of the next 12 sets, 13 sets, and not blink, because the value of the collection has grown so much. And, I'm happy to be here, and it's amazing what it's done. It's amazing to see out there. I think it's amazing. If you're a collector, you just like to open the packs, I can assure you things will get better. And there are sets that you can open up. But it's a strange time. It's a strange market. And I just wanted to, introduce myself here. We're going to be educational on this channel. We're going to provide value. We're going to make videos on how to do things. I want the videos to live on YouTube, right? So put a lot of content out, make how-to videos. People might find them 3, 4, 5 years later. That's when this might pay off. If it doesn't, again, this is the extra thing that I do, and I love to do it. So for the new people in the hobby, I hope you follow this channel. We're going to start pretty much tracking the collection from Prismatic Evolutions. As a new person, don't leave. When things get bad or your money goes down, don't leave. There has to be a reason you're buying the box, a reason you're here. The reason is money. That's not the best reason, but it's a reason a lot of people are here, and it can be a tool to your advantage. But you should not be buying Pokemon cards if you cannot afford it, and you cannot afford the risk in the irrational marketplace if you're just here for money. Um, you start with one box and you buy what you can, and you enjoy the hobby, and you be nice to people, and that's what you do. And that's it. It's not hard, guys. Patience, consistency, time, and sacrifice. That's pretty much what it costs. Most people, I would say, think I'm weird for doing this. I cannot talk to people about it. I don't talk to people about it. Mostly my friends who I love to death. And, they root for me and we root for each other because they're the greatest group of guys. And I have the greatest group of friends. Um, they make jokes about it. And that's okay because they're my best friends. That's what guys do. Um, but like I said, I feel like I have a lot to teach. We can be educational, and we want to make videos that live on YouTube. So I hope that you watch this video. If you're looking for something to buy, I have about 75 booster boxes left, probably 25 for sale, 15 to 25 left for sale. Most of the Sword and Shield is now on its way out. I started with XY, Sun and Moon. I started in March. I can't tell you how early I started selling and the decisions I made. If I would even waited 2 months longer, but that's okay. It's all good. Everything is great. Everything is awesome. So follow along. If you have any questions, you can reach out. I'm going to start making content, 1 to 2 videos a week. This will not get in the way of my job. It will not get in the way of my family. And I hope you come back and I hope you watch some videos. Thank you. I'll see you next time.